Welcome back to another instalment of Xxxl podcast, sponsored by Brixton Streetwear, officially sponsored by Brixton Streetwear. And we got a guest, man. We got a very special guest right here. We got Robert Xxxl.
Yes.
We know each other a long time. West Ham Boxing Club. He's been around a long time and stuff. You're a seasoned fighter.
Heavy, I've got to instruct you. You've known me for a long time,
but
I'm no longer known as Robert Xxxl. I'm now known as the Beast.
The Beast! Oh. Why do they call you the Beast?
Well, they're gonna have to wait and find out.
Yes. So listen up, man. So basically, we've got lots to talk about. We're gonna go straight into it. The other day, Saturday, we had on the Frank Warren show. Daniel Dubois, he blitzed through Schneider, whatever his name, Schneider.
Yeah.
Schneider. No one ever knew he was just standing. It didn't really tickle my taste buds. It didn't really get me exciting. It didn't get me going.
It reminded me of almost like a heavyweight debut. Do you know when you've got a new monster coming through, and they're like, yeah, let's just blow out the journeyman in a couple of rounds, around 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But to be fair though, it was a late replacement, wasn't it?
Very late replacement. There was an issue with the COVID testing, I think.
MRI. But can I say something to you, right? Yeah. Fact of the matter is, Joe Joyce had a very stern test. I know you got a late replacement, but I think that they was having one eye on the Dillian White Povetkin thing. They didn't want any slip-ups at this stage. And I just don't think, what was the point? Do you know what? It was just like, it was weak.
Do you know what? I think I can see that, but I also think that the idea might have been putting Daniel through a camp. There'll be things they work.
What's the point of putting him through a 6-week camp to go and do that? To meet someone, to fight someone like that?
There'll be things they're working on. There's going to be lots of things they're working on, lots of technical things, lots of things that they'll be...
The guy was a tomato can. Come on, bro. It was a tomato can.
I see things from both your perspectives, but I do think it's true. Like, see what happened. See, because not everyone's willing to take risks. Like you think boxing is like the land of the brave, and it is. But obviously, there's managers and there's people that have financial investments, and they probably thought to themselves they don't want to mess up and get themselves in a further. They're already quite far away from Dillian White anyway, but they're just blagging it. They don't want to get themselves even further away and get lost.
All right, Robert, can I say something to you? Yeah. Just look at the contrast of the fight camp, which were 50-50 fights, to Eddie Hearn's Frank Warren's thing. All right, and I'm not slagging off Frank Warren, but I'm saying, do you know what I mean? Like, you know what, man? As soon as I saw that card of boxing, and I watched it, and I was like, oh, bring back fight camp, man. I was missing it. It gave me withdrawal symptoms for fight camp.
I think
the fight camp was exciting.
But what about the is it bantamweight or was it Ramez Mahmoud? Chris Brook, that was a good fight.
that was a very good fight. Ramez Mahmoud actually trained here for some of that camp.
Yeah.
I like the Sonny Edwards fight as well. I don't think Sonny stepped on the gas enough. I think he boxed very, very safe. But Sonny's quite a skillful boxer. I think he's finding his power. He's still finding that man strength. But he fought a 2-time Olympian, outboxed him, outclassed him. Sam Maxwell, Joe Hughes, that was good. Joe Hughes is basically a one-arm fighter. Look,
come on, listen. Let's stop with lip service, right? Yeah. Fact of the matter is, the main event was shit. Fact of it, listen. When I go to a fight, I go for the main event, right? Or whatever. When I watch a fight or whatever, when I pay my subscriptions, I want to see a juicy main event, right? Yeah. Come on, man. This is not worthy of a main event, pay-per-view, whatever it is. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's shite. It's Barry White. It's shite. I'm sorry. Sorry, man. You know, I'm sorry. I'm just saying that it is.
What do you want to watch?
What do I want to watch? What do I want to watch?
No, but for instance,
what? I'll tell you what. No, listen. What would I put on?
What would you prefer?
I would rather them put on something like a face fight. Just look. All right, hang on a minute. Look at the blueprint of the fight camp. Listen to me. After the lockdown, you'd have thought everyone's stepping up to the plate. Because everyone's like, listen, there might be a second lockdown, you don't know. Listen to me, right? Everyone's like sitting back or whatever, waiting for... You can't sidestep no one no more. You've got to take your chances, yeah? Look at fight camp, all 50-50 fights. Look at the upsets. Look at the shit that happened. Look at the Ted Cheeseman. Look at these guys. Look at the fucking Dillian White and the Povetkin. They put their balls on the line. They put their bollocks on the line. And that's where the land of the brave.
It's too heavy, but the thing is, at the end of the day, it depends on what boxes you have. You can only do what your boxers will allow you to do.
Frank Warren has got boxers. Right? He could have put in. Do you know what? This Joe Joyce thing has been going on long enough. They could have done the Joe Joyce thing. Listen, I'm saying the Joe Joyce thing, right? Yeah. I don't know why they're stringing it out for. Why are they longing it out for?
There's been a lockdown. There's money involved. They need to make money on the gate.
They made Dillian Povetkin, bruv. Dillian Povetkin is a bigger fight than Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois. Agreed?
Agreed, but they're both.
Thank you. So how come they can make Dillian Povetkin but they can't make Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce?
No, that's what Harry said though, because they're taking pay cuts, so they've agreed. Them the fighters agree. Like Dillian White was like, "Listen, I'm agreeing." Povetkin, I agreed. Or maybe there was something behind the scenes with Dubois and Joyce.
It's not just that. What you've got to look at is there's like Josh Warrington's not fought in lockdown. The reason Josh Warrington's not fought is because a lot of his money comes from the gate. He's a ticket seller. Those two, the pay-per-view numbers aren't going to be as high as a Dillian White Povetkin.
Okay.
So,
but you've got to keep busy. You've got to keep busy. You've got to fight.
They had two opponents line in, one's dropped out. They brought in a bin man. I agree, the opponent was shite, but
I reckon fucking he'd do a better job.
Don't knock me.
Mind you, I've seen him on the training bag today. He's pretty tasty.
First time training.
Oh, he does 6 3-minute rounds, bro. He was hitting the bag with venom, bro.
First time.
First time, bro. I swear to God, you looked good, bro.
Thank you.
I'm not telling you, bro. You
I asked Harry, like, what weight does he do? Like, I had to.
Seriously, man.
I said to him before jokes, I'm going to spar you later when you were in the bag, and then I was like, nah. That's why he's very good, very good. It was good to see like a professional train.
But listen,
for the first time.
Listen, moving on, right? Yeah.
In fact, we just touched on that. What differences? So you've been around sort of gyms and you've seen people train sort of that aren't professionals. What differences did you see when you saw a pro train? What did you take from that? What did you observe?
You can hit the back good.
The technique.
Because the way that you punch, I was gonna ask you, like how did you throw like your whole into that punch? Like, because I saw it different to when like you hit it to when like others like were hitting it.
I think it's just practice.
Because you must have punched that bag about 10,000 times.
Or more than that.
More than that.
Just like, imagine your coach tells you, this is the formula, and you just keep practicing that formula, and then it becomes second nature.
But listen,
overnight.
I know from personal experience, right? Yeah, I've been hit by a professional boxer before. I've sparred Billy Joe Saunders and I've sparred Kid Galahad.
Didn't Kid Galahad give you a massive shot to the stomach?
Yeah, I know. But you know what? He's got a Napoleon syndrome. Do you know what I mean? He's got a small man syndrome. Which I was supposed to be messing about. And he just went whack. He went, I was like, oh, fucking hell. I thought it was like, I mean, alright, let's have a bit of a, do you know what I mean? And it was like, Billy Joe Saunders, right, yeah? Me and him was having a bit of a spar this year. He was like, yeah, this year I was having a bit of a, do you know what I mean? Like, he weren't going full at it.
I sparred Billy Joe last year, and one thing I'll say is that I have never received such a hard body shot in my...
Really?
Yeah, he didn't give me body shot.
Ever.
But I think, listen, I took Billy Joe Saunders' body shots, but he was, I think he held back.
Yeah, I think he held back.
Oh, yeah, of course he held back. That's what's got. He would probably say. Yeah, I know that. I understand that. Of course, I get that. But I'm saying you got a little fella like Kid Galahad gets in the ring and he's like, all right, mate, bosh. I
don't know what happened with you and Kid. Obviously, I wasn't there.
But I don't know why upset you, Kid Galahad. Why did you go do that for?
But I will say with Bill, he's polite. He's a cool guy.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Kid Galahad ain't. He's a vicious little fucker, I'm telling you. A vicious little fucker.
By the time
he's got small man syndrome, man. I swear he's got small man syndrome.
So by the time we've done a year of this, there's going to be so many boxers that hate me by association. Listen to me, listen. We don't pull no punches on the Xxxl podcast. We don't pull no punches. Listen, if you're a sensitive boxer, you're not going to like this podcast.
He might thought heavy D stand for heavy down. Try to put down heavily.
No, it's called heavy dong.
Moving on
swiftly. Listen,
this one's called Triple X show, isn't it?
Triple X rated.
Encourage.
Yeah, listen. That's another show. It's another show. So listen, so obviously, like, yeah, I saw on Michael Benson's page, he was talking about Usyk. Frank Warren wants Usyk to fight Daniel Dubois for the if the WBO goes vacant, which is frankly Josh Short, it's a possibility he might vacate the WBO title, and you know Frank Warren wants him to fight for the vacant title. Don't you think it's a bit disrespectful to Joe Joyce? Because they're overlooking Joe Joyce, or if they're overlooking him, or they might give him a side step, or they might give him an elbow.
I think it's firstly, I don't think Anthony Joshua's going to vacate. I think he's just got those belts back. He's looking at a £100 million fight with Fury. They will find a way to make it happen.
I think exactly, because in boxing you got to realise there's certain things that people may say that they know is never going to happen.
Yeah, it's
because they know that there's so many obstacles. Firstly, to make a cross promotion show anyway.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the careers of each boxer, is it likely the fight will be made?
I think this is what I think. I think what Frank Warren says all bollocks about them saying that if there was both fighting without the belts would still be a huge fight. I'm telling you, you can't have the undisputed makes it that extra, gives it the extra oomph, yeah. And I'll tell you, without all the belts, they'll give. I reckon Nostradamus. I reckon they'll give 20 mil to Usyk. I say, listen, you will give me another chance for undisputed, right? It's 20 mil. Shut your mouth. Sit this out, and we'll.
In my opinion, all these guys, Joshua, Fury, White, Usyk. I put Usyk in there, but he hasn't really proven himself a heavyweight.
Yeah.
But I think these fighters.
But he's not my
I think these fighters aren't fighters right now in their career. You're going to give them step aside money. I don't think.
What?
I think these guys are hungry.
I think more what's happened from all of this situation.
Yeah, but he's a match on fire, don't forget.
No, but I think what's come from this whole situation is it's just clever business by Frank Warren. Daniel Dubois has been out, he's main event of the show, people are talking about it stinking, he's seen the WBO rankings have come out, cool. Rather than let's talk about how Daniel Dubois knocked out a tomato can, let's talk about how Daniel Dubois can fight Usyk.
Yeah, he's deflecting.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which is clever. It's clever by Frank Warren. Frank Warren's smart.
He's doing a Mourinho.
Yeah. It's like you see certain fighters in Frank Warren's stable that might not have that big of a name, and when they do interviews, the interview headline was another boxer's name.
Yeah. He's just totally deflecting everything. Yeah. But what I say to you is, I see that. I see that a lot with Frank Warren. He does that. He does talk up or talk about different things.
He's a promoter. That's his job. Yeah. You know, his job is to talk up, promote, and build his. And I think Frank Warren, he gets a lot of stick these days, but there's a reason he's been in the business for 30 years. There's a reason he's doing it, and he's come close to not doing it a few times, but he always finds a way.
Who's a better promoter, Frank Warren or Eddie Hearn?
Right now, Eddie Hearn's doing the numbers, although the BT show.
What are you talking? Frank Warren, Hall of Famer, Nazim, Chris Eubanks, Frank Bruno, Nigel Benn. You're talking about Eddie Hearn? Eddie Hearn? Are you doing Larry? Hall of Fame? Are you crazy?
Calm down, Colin. I think that.
Sorry.
He loads these questions up because he just wants to go around. He just wants to shout. He's like, I've talked for too long. Let me just load this up. Let me ask him something, and whatever he says, I'm going to blow. And he blows a gasket every time. There's no debate. There's no conversation. It's just Colin shouting.
Sorry. I felt good. I'm sorry, man. Sorry.
No, I think at the moment, Eddie Hearn's doing the numbers, and Eddie Hearn's probably, I think he's got a better television deal. I think he's got better sort of people and networks behind him. I think Sky Sports are supporting him a lot more, and he's got DAZN in America. I think Frank Warren, historically, he's just such a consistent promoter. Like you say, your Nazims, your Brunos.
Yeah. Kind of cracked America as well.
He's got.
The Fury deal was.
Well, no, that's what he's done there.
That's after.
It's quite interesting. Historically, what he's done is he's big on alliances. So he allied himself with Don King years ago. They fell out. They went to court. I think they sued each other, or one of them sued the other. And now, in recent years, he's sort of allied with Bob Arum. So I think rather than try and crack America like Eddie Hearn's done with DAZN, what he's done is he's gone, right, that's the biggest promoter in America.
But I think also the thing about promotion is about keeping up with the world.
Yeah.
The world's always changing, and where Eddie's younger, he's fresher, he has the better television deal. Which
he's in touch with the young audience.
Exactly, but the television deal really is the main thing.
Yeah.
Because Frank Warren let go of Sky, let's not forget.
That's
how Eddie
that's
went.
true.
So the thing is that when you look at it, I think who's a better promoter? I think once you've been in the game for a certain period of time, they're both the same. It's just that who's got the better platform, who's able to adapt in this environment better. But really, when you talk about promotional skills, like think about this: why do you think Daniel Dubois would be signed to Frank Warren if Frank Warren was no good?
No, exactly.
When is that good? Why would it be? And why would Joshua be with Eddie Hearn if he was no good? So I believe they're all good, but You know, a fighter told me, Billy Joe Saunders told me this actually. He said all the promoters are the same, but it depends who's giving you the best.
O'Hara Davis. We had O'Hara. I spoke to O'Hara Davis. He said the same thing. I said, who's better at Eddie Hearn than Frank Warren? And he said, depends what deal you're getting.
Exactly.
And that's what you just said. The same thing. You echoed the same thing. He said, depends what deal you're getting.
So
they all give different
if
deals.
they came to you with both the same deal, who would you go with? Or can I answer?
Oh shit.
It's politics, man. It's politics.
No, it's not that you're not allowed. You can say anything you want. It's more. I'll just have to weigh it up and talk to people that I feel know the game also, and I'll ask them what do they feel is best for me, and I'll come to my conclusion. I'll come to my answer. I couldn't just tell you right now because I'm not in that situation.
Yeah. But I think as well there'd probably
Diplomatic
there'd be a meeting or something.
Yeah.
They'd probably get an impression from the meeting. As like, okay, cool.
Because you want to go with someone that's obviously going to take you that further step.
I guess it's about belief.
To make you grow and
I believe you can meet someone, talk to them, look in their eyes, and you believe for the same thing.
Yeah.
Or you can talk to someone and you can just tell that he's
So,
just
have you ever had that throughout your career?
Some people, yeah.
Have you ever had that throughout your career? Like someone like telling you shit basically? And you've like nearly gone there. Have you learned the hard way? Have you?
Yeah, I've definitely learned the hard way in my career, but not in a way. I haven't got false promises. I just wasn't wise enough at the time and clued up enough to realise what I was actually saying.
Go on, Kim, touch it.
I'll look at
No, not that you can. It's a window cleaner.
It's raining.
Don't worry. Go on. That's my water with it. That's my water. Go on.
Okay. So we've got the MTK show tomorrow.
Yeah.
It should be out just before that goes live. What fights are you looking forward to seeing?
Phil versus Dennis.
Oh!
That's a good fight.
So listen, just to explain to the audience out there, on Wednesday, the 2nd of September, this is going to go out on Wednesday. You got Philip Bowes versus Akeem Ennis Brown. It's going to be on IFL TV 8:30. Wow, I'm looking forward to this one, man. This one's been going on for a long time. It's been simmering for a long time.
Cancelled twice, didn't it?
Cancelled twice. I think the last time, there was blood in Philip Bowes' urine or something like that.
They pulled him out because it medically wasn't cleared to fight.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, this has got all the makers of a great fight. It's for the British and the Commonwealth, and I think the IBF European as well. There's a lot of belts on the line, man.
I haven't seen that much of Dennis, but I've heard a lot. Like from O'Hara, I've heard O'Hara talking about him saying he spars him, and I know O'Hara only spars good fighters.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that much. But I've seen a lot of Phil.
Yeah.
And I believe personally that Phil people don't know it yet, but he's world class already.
You think?
Yeah, Phil's world class.
I mean, listen, look. Well, look, we've known Philip Bowes from a long time in West Ham Boxing Gym, and we go back a long way and stuff. And obviously, like, you know, we've seen Philip at close quarters and stuff. But listen, I just want to touch on something. I was speaking to Barry Smith yesterday on the channel, and he was saying that they split it amicably. Now, do you think that possibly is going to have an impact? Because you see what happened with the Dillian White thing. I mean, sometimes it can, even if a fighter doesn't want to admit it, it can affect them psychologically.
I don't think that. Firstly, we're assuming that Mark Tibbs leaving Dillian is what caused that knockout. We're assuming we don't know if it had any effect.
We don't know, but think about it. You know what? A lot of fighters, they will pretend that it doesn't affect them, but it's a relationship, isn't it? If it's a relationship, if they're like friends and stuff.
From like the time we spent with Phil in the gym, I feel Phil is a very calm and collected person. He doesn't make decisions abruptly. So he wouldn't. So if he really felt, and he's honest to him about himself, Phil's honest. I think if he felt as though it would affect him, he wouldn't have left, or he would have stayed there with. I don't know what happened, but he would.
Apparently they parted amicably.
Yeah. So it's mutual. So they both. But I feel Phil knows what's best for him. He does.
Okay.
And he's got still a team.
Yeah.
He's got Dwayne
Leon
McKenzie, of course, who's former professional boxer.
Yeah.
McKenzie family as well, of boxers. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, do you know what I mean? People are saying that it's you versus experience. I mean, we had Akeem Ennis on the channel as well. I sent a message out to Philip. He didn't get back to me. Probably he's busy. But at the end of the day, like, he seems very confident. He seems very relaxed about the whole thing. He's saying that he wants to beat up Philip Bowes. He said he wants to beat him up badly. Do you know what, man? It's like, you know,
The interviews were quite telling in that though, because you had, like you said, the young versus old. So you had the young guy who was putting it on and talking and giving it, and the other guy was just more calm, relaxed, and he was sort of almost schooling him with words. He was like, don't be like that.
I think Phil won the war of words.
I think that as well.
Yeah, Phil, like, if anyone intelligent watching that would see that Phil won.
He used a lot of emotional intelligence, a lot of just sort of making him feel sort of uneasy.
Like it's the comments, son.
Patronising. Almost. It was borderline. I'd say there's another example of that.
He's saying, when I was your age, I used to speak like you.
Yeah. And
like saying, like, he talks to him like he's his dad.
Yeah, so I know more than you.
And like, you're going to speak like this in a few years' time, and you're going to realise that what you basically were saying, you're acting like a twat, and you're going to regret it.
Yeah, do you know what I was thinking? There was something. It wasn't two boxes, but it was when. Do you remember when Lawrence Okoli and Dylan White had their beef online over the sparring footage? There's the video of the confrontation of Dean on Lawrence Okoli.
Yeah, you see that.
And that's just a clinic in just. He took him and he had him in the palm of his hand, and it was just. Dean spoke to
Dean was saying, I'd rather diffuse it before it gets out of hand.
And he's like, let's diffuse it before it gets out of hand. Yeah. You've done this, you know that's not the full story.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, do you know that? It was just a school on just emotional intelligence.
But for saying that, though, I believe you that Phil won the war of words. But I don't think that Dennis even understood that he lost.
Yeah.
Because he's so I think it's more that he wasn't trying to win. He was more he's ready to fight.
Yeah, it's just
because he's so ready to fight, he just doesn't even
youthful
care. He's not even That's what I believe.
No, I think you're
so
right.
I think some of the disrespect isn't like it can be perceived as disrespect, but really it's just energy and motivation, and he just wants to get cracking. I don't think he's looking at Phil and he's like, and he hates this guy in his sleep. I don't think he is. I feel as though he just wants to get hungry. Exactly.
The bookies have made. Let me just check. Just need to check quickly. All right, on the Betfred, they've made Philip a very, very large outsider.
Yeah.
Yeah, like really massive. Like they've made him like I've never seen these odds are like absurd.
But these odds could be based on like the age.
3-1.
3-1, really?
3-1. To be honest with you, right? Yeah, and I spoke to a lot of people about boxing and this stuff. They say whenever a fight is when you see a boxing fight should never ever be that sort of one-sided on the odds. So you can't really look into it, really. Do you know what I mean?
I don't believe.
Philip Bowes is 3-1, and Ennis Brown is if you put £9 on, you can put £9 on to get £2 back. So it's crazy. It's a crazy. Like bookies they never usually wrong.
No, but there's a fight that Ben Dyter told me about. It was a British welterweight. What was his name?
So you know what I mean. Listen. The fact of the matter is, right? Yeah.
I lost it, but I need to get it.
I'll find it in a bit.
Yeah, we'll find it in a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what are you talking about?
No, carry on.
Buster Douglas.
No. Exactly. I wasn't talking about Buster Douglas, but that's an example. Yeah. That's the example where
upsets happen.
Upsets do happen.
Upsets happen. But thing about it is,
he was the favourite. He was the favourite.
But listen. Philip Bowles is the Commonwealth champion. He's going into a fight as a 3-1. Do you not understand this? That's madness. Imagine hang on, wait, let's just think about it for a second, people. He's a Commonwealth champion, going in as a champion, and he's a 3-1 underdog.
But that shows you boxing.
But the bookies are never usually wrong.
But you know what?
How can they make that?
What did the bookies? Because the thing is, the reason why Phil was such an outside favourite, in my opinion,
how can it be?
It's because of the way the system of boxing is set up.
How?
So Phil has had.
Educate me.
Okay, so Phil has had to duck and dive and take certain opponents to get his ranking up.
Right.
So now, on paper, he doesn't look as good as he actually is.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what do the bookies look at when they're gonna say who's the favourite or not? They're probably looking at opponents, they might be looking at age, they might be looking at all of these different things that isn't directly a reflection of how good Phil is.
Okay, and
but
also...
But usually, like imagine if this was football, usually these signs would be clear signs that someone isn't as good, for example.
And also, I mean, is it possible what Ennis Brown said, that Philip hasn't been promoting himself? He hasn't been putting himself out there. Do you think that's a possibility? Would that affect how people the perception, the public perception?
It could be, but
because if you don't give interviews and you don't put yourself out there,
it could be. But the thing is that when Phil touched on,
I asked him for an interview for myself and he declined.
Well, when Phil touched on the topic, the thing that I liked about what he was saying was that
But surely you've got to promote yourself as a boxer.
It's true, but Andre, he has social media.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
So he does.
But
maybe for this fight, he's taking it so seriously that he's locked himself away. Which fighters have done.
So you're saying that every fighter, Philip is just giving interviews? Is he not giving interviews?
No, he has given like the stuff to different people, like Chris Adams. He has given him.
Okay.
But the thing is that you have to remember.
So why was he going saying that then? Why was he saying that? Why is he making it up?
Because he doesn't know. He hasn't researched it.
Chris Brown is probably just looking at more on he's a younger fighter, so he's probably just looking at IFL.
But the thing is, I want to touch on is that what Phil was actually saying, and Phil was talking about black fighters not having to act a form.
What do you mean by that?
What does he mean by that? Is that, okay, look at this.
Why? What's colour got to do with it?
Sometimes,
He said you're.
Okay, so what
you're playing a stereotypical role. I'm just repeating what he said.
Yeah.
To the people who didn't understand. Let me explain to the people. Philip Bowes said, "Stop playing the typical stereotypical black sort of like role."
Name me.
What does that mean?
How many fighters are non-black that you can name me that act a fool? Name me right now.
Tyson Fury.
I was going to say.
But Tyson Fury, the thing is, okay, name me another. Name me like 2, 3 other. Because you can just
let me think.
Flamboyant. With black fighters, it can just roll off your tongue. You're saying it's not. And Tyson Fury's one isn't really. Tyson Fury doesn't act a fool. Tyson Fury is very intelligent.
No, but he acts a joker.
No, but acting a joker and acting a fool are two different things.
Yeah.
I can watch a Tyson Fury interview and I can see this guy.
I can
see this guy is sharper than the person interviewing him.
Yeah.
But then you watch a Adrian Broner interview, you don't see the same thing, do you? He doesn't look. It's not the same thing. He just goes to Walmart and throws money in the air. It's just silly behaviour. But the thing is, sometimes Andre Ward touched on this, and he feels that there's a stereotype in boxing where black fighters are expected to behave a certain way. It's like Andre Ward, for example. He's very well mannered. And he's calm and he's collected, and he doesn't get pushed. He doesn't get pushed the same way Oscar De La Hoya got pushed. He doesn't, because they don't need.
So you got what you're saying is you got to fit into a certain pigeonhole to be able to be promoted, to be marketable.
Pretty Boy Floyd, was told by Bob Arum that he would never sell like Oscar De La Hoya. Money Mayweather, but Money Mayweather became the highest selling boxing.
But does Money Mayweather, does he act the fool?
He did. Money Mayweather, didn't you watch him in box Oscar De La Hoya or Toro Gatti? Didn't you watch?
I remember watching there's a documentary they did.
And he stole his training gear.
And he not just that, he was like going around his mansion on his Segway throwing out dollar bills.
Listen. I can name more black boxers that don't act the fool than do act the fool.
Because there's more black boxers. Of course that's true, because what does that mean?
He said don't fall into the stereotypical thing of a black person.
So because more black people don't act the fool, does that mean that the ones that do act the fool don't exist? Like, what does that actually mean? Your point?
I think people act the fool in every race.
It's true.
You can't say, do you know what?
No, it's so true, but it's just in boxing. It's more.
Isn't there Greek people that act the fool?
Huh?
Isn't there Greek people that act the fool?
Yeah.
You, for example. Joking.
I
like the fool as well.
I'm joking. I act the fool.
Okay, well, Tyson Fury, is a joker, but Tyson Fury doesn't fit the stereotype. The reason why is because there's hardly any fighters that are white that do that. Like, but imagine with black fighters. How do you know it? How do I know that? Because I watch boxing. Like, let's say.
So what's his name? Bomb Squad. What's it?
Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. Sometimes he acts a fool when he goes.
But you're not dispelling the thing. What we're saying. I'm trying
to understand.
I'm saying this. Will a white boxer say to another white boxer, "Do you know what? Stop." Imagine like Stephen Schwartz was fighting Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury was messing about and ignoring all this sort of stuff, and then Stephen Schwartz said, "Hang on, Tyson Fury, stop acting the stereotypical white boxer."
But he's not acting stereotypical because there's not a category of people. Like, for example, you're a black guy doing that is acting stereotypical because there's a category of black people that do. There's a group of them that do that, but with white boxers and other races, there's not. Like, let's say right now, Camacho, who's I think is Latin, so when he started acting like crazy and doing all the different stuff, he didn't fit stereotype because he's the only one.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, right now, if when this started, I just start kind of money. I would fit. People say, "Oh, he's trying to be like Rona. I'll fit a stereotype." Do you get what I'm saying?
I think the point that you're making, and I want to make sure I understand this, is that people aren't being boxers of a certain race aren't necessarily being themselves, and
Exactly.
they're feeling that they have to play a role
Exactly.
to try and get their head.
So it's not actually from without.
but rather than be themselves and establish themselves.
So
as
what
a
Phil was
They're not being they're not being
Exactly.
real.
So
They're
Phil
just
was trying to
they're following what's it called, a blueprint.
a caricature
So
of
Phil-
themselves or
so
of
Phil-
a role.
So Phil was trying to normalise being a boxer, a black boxer, who believes in his skills and believes his skills can open doors to him. I believe I'm a skilled fighter, it will open doors. I haven't got to go up to the door and start screaming. For example, that's what Phil's trying to normalise. If that's your character, if that's your character and that's who you are when the camera's on or off, then so be it. But if you're just doing it just to do it,
Yeah, but think about it, like, listen, hear me out. The most successful, however you do it, we're all listen to me, let me say something, right? It's an entertainment business, right, yeah? Me, myself, I play a character, Heavy D, right, yeah? I don't go around shouting boom every day on the street, I'll get locked up, right, yeah? This is a fact, right, yeah? No, listen, I'm being serious. No, listen, right, yeah? So basically, right, it's an entertainment industry, right, yeah? And you have to adopt a character. This is how you market yourself. I don't necessarily play the fool, whatever, but you got to act up, you got to sell the fight.
Okay, so
no, let me finish. You got to sell the fight, you got to be marketable, right? If you're going to come with all this, the other, and trying to be all this philosophical bullshit, yeah, in the press conference, right, yeah, you're not going to sell. People want to hear people.
Why did Kovalev, when he fought Anthony Yard, for example, Anthony Yard has a character, lions in the camp.
That's a character.
But Kovalev,
It's a character.
But Kovalev is just like, hello.
Because you can't speak fucking English.
Why?
That's all he can say is hello. That's all he can fucking say. He can't speak English.
Why, for example, is Lomachenko, yeah? He's just there. I know you're saying
He can't speak
but why have they just come collected? Why is
He can't speak English.
Why is Luke Campbell just come? The thing, what I'm trying to say to you is that it's within the boxer's minds.
But I know for a fact, yeah, that Frank Bruno, right, yeah, doesn't speak Cockney normally. He speaks Yardie. I know that for a fact, mate, because I've met Frank Bruno and he speaks Yardie, bro. So that's he's playing the character. Do you know what I mean, Harry? That's not real. So you know what I mean, Harry? He actually speaks Yardie, bro. So that's what I'm
trying to say is that black fighters feel that they have to perform a character, but
because you've got to.
It's
not wrestling. It's not wrestling.
Heavy. Black fighters feel like they have to. White fighters don't feel like they have to, and that's the reason why you get more black jokers and less white jokers, because they don't feel they have to. So, like Tyson Fury, I can guarantee that's probably how he behaves all the time. So, do you get what I'm saying?
There are more successful black fighters than there are white fighters. That could be the thing. I reckon there's 80% of fighters. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's more. This is what it could be. It could be just generally there could be more black fighters than there are white fighters. It's possible. Black fight. Listen. I'm telling you. Listen. I think there are. More successful, you look at I don't know what stats are, there's more successful black fighters than there are white fighters. It could be just that.
Comment below what you think, guys.
You're
going to get it.
You check the top 10, of any weight division, there's more black fighters than there are white fighters.
Heavy.
And the other thing is Russian fighters, they can't speak English.
I think you've missed a massive point in this. The point is about sort of not fear that you have to play up to a stereotype in society to fit.
So that's why I feel trying
Yeah, but you have to. No, but what's it? I know in society, fuck society. I'm talking in the entertainment industry, in boxing, and all that sort of stuff. You have to adopt a character. If I was to go on, TV and call myself Colin, I wouldn't get no fucking. I wouldn't win this Big Brother, and I wouldn't be fucking doing this podcast right now. So Colin doesn't work. Heavy D sells bums on seats.
Heavy.
That's life. That's life.
Heavy. What you're saying is true, but what I'm trying to say to you is
you have to adopt a character.
What Phil's trying to do is to normalise it, meaning that
that
most black fighters it's not so every black fighter feels he has to, but the ones that have got it in them, like you, like imagine you're Colin, but you got it in you to be heavy, you got it in you to switch. Not everyone has it in them to switch, but right now every black fighter feels they have to switch, and it's
called market.
No. What he's saying is there's negative stereotypes, and you shouldn't feel that you have to play up to a negative stereotype.
Look at fucking WWE, they're alright, and they're twats.
But it's
they come in and Braun Strowman or whatever the fucking name is, fucking Randy Couture, and all these fucking guys. They all look at those. They come putting on all these. They're putting on leotards, fucking cod pieces. They're going and running around with fucking fake tags on.
Wrestling is fake. Wrestling,
it's entertainment, bro.
What I'm saying is that wrestling, is purely an entertainment business. professional boxing comes from amateur boxing. So amateur boxing is a sport, and then they turn pro, which is entertainment. So they don't even really. A lot of boxers don't even really realize they're in the entertainment business.
Yes.
They don't.
Yeah.
They see it like a sport.
Yeah.
So I do hear what you're saying,
Yeah.
but like it's like what Harry said. I feel like the point that Phil's trying to make is that he's trying to kill the stereotype. So people that want to act Joe
He's trying to break from the norm.
Well,
The norm now.
The norm is wrong because the norm is wrong.
He's essentially telling him stop being a negative role model to young black men that are going
Exactly.
to emulate what they see in the media. If you play this character, if you act a fool or if you act a certain way that's negative and that's not yourself, like I get what you're saying about entertainment and that, but isn't the idea that you play a character that's 10 times your normal self?
Exactly.
You take yourself, you amplify yourself. His point is don't act a certain way. Don't act in a way that's possibly harmful to your community and your people.
Okay.
Be yourself and put your own
I don't agree with that. I don't think it's harming the community. I don't think it's harming no culture. I don't think it's harming black people. I don't think it's...
So you don't think there's influence? You don't believe in influence?
No, I believe what I'm trying to say to is anybody right with half a brain can see, do you know what? They're selling the fight. They're selling the show. Yes, it is. It is. All that bullshit, right, yeah? Let me see. Can I speak, please? Listen to me. Let me say something, right? Boxing, right, yeah, is all... It is one big pantomime, right, yeah? Most boxers all know each other. They don't hate each other. They inspire each other. It's all bollocks, mate. It's all fucking bollocks. I heard a story about Eddie Hearn saying to him, right, who's going to be the good guy, who's going to be the bad guy? It's all pantomime, it's all bollocks. They all know each other. So I'm telling you, it's all a load of bollocks. If you believe in it, if you believe that they hate each other, then you're a fool.
Andre Ward said this, which is interesting.
Am I lying?
One second. Andre Ward said this.
I'm not lying, am I?
Exactly.
All boxers hate each other. They don't hate each other.
No one hates each other.
They don't hate each other. It's all bollocks. Like, as soon as the press conference in the net for fighters now, then they start hating each other. Or they're going to line up to fight. It's all pantomime.
What I will say is this. You can be in an interview, you can fight someone, and you're like, I'm cool with him, I'm going to fight him, whatever. And then he starts...
I bet you've done that. I bet you've been friends with someone, and then you put on them, you hate them, just to sell a fight.
Listen to this, and then someone...
They all do it.
And then someone starts talking shit about you. And they start saying things that if you was on the street, you would probably strike them. And now... tension build up. So sometimes you can be cool with someone, but then, bro, you're thinking, you're talking...
Okay, I'll tell you a quick example. Right, Andre Sterling is fighting Dennis right, yeah? They were both stable mates at Peacock Gym. I see them, they were spars with each other.
And then what happened?
And now, all of a sudden, they hate each other.
And then Sterling...
It's all bollocks.
And then Sterling is saying that, he knocked my man, he's saying he knocked Daniel out.
Because it sells fights.
So what I'm saying to you is that imagine I'm Daniel now. And imagine I thought I'm cool. Imagine heavy. Imagine right now when you're gonna buy. Yeah. And you're like, yeah. When I smashed him up, like he ran out the gym crying, and everyone can see it. I was like, I'm thinking what? So I could be offended by that. And now,
but it's getting in your head though. And the fact of the matter, you fight.
So what I'm trying to say to you is that. So now the tension between us is real.
Yeah.
Because do you get what I'm saying?
But it's up to you to be stupid enough to actually feel it really, or say, he's just on the wind up. I'll play along.
No, but that's not the point though. And also, what I was going to say to you before we drifted is that Andre Ward said this on the stereotyping. Andre Ward said, Andre Ward, he said, how can I just talk rubbish in the interview, talking all of this smack, and then years later I'm trying to discipline my child, and he's pulling up on his phone my interview and he's saying, Dad, how can you tell me?
Yeah, but he's going to be in a nice big mansion and say, listen, me acting a fool, got this mansion right, yeah, got you.
But it's the child you're talking to, so the child doesn't understand life.
Say, look, man, do you know what? Listen, people are in jobs that they don't like just to feed their families, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, all you're doing is that sometimes you've got to do shit you don't want to do.
Maybe has done all of these things, all of this stuff, made all of this money, and now his daughter is looking at how many years in jail. You know what happened about his daughter Yana? She stabbed someone, and she's involved.
I don't think. What's that?
And so his daughter was in a relationship with this guy. What's it called?
I think you're getting upset now, bro.
No. I'm saying, she's in a relationship with young money boy. I don't know his name.
What's that got to do? Playing a fool.
No, so what? So Mayweather, for example, had a lifestyle. He's around women. He's doing all this. He's like, he's showing that he's not monogamous. He's sleeping with all these different ladies. So his daughter's seeing that, and now he's all about heavy. So he's all that money, yeah. But when he comes to visit his daughter in jail, well, he's still going to visit her, isn't he? Is he going to get special platform in jail? He's not. And that's what.
I apologize.
Going so deep into this topic.
No, nothing wrong with deep. Nothing wrong with deep.
That's really what.
It's art imitating life. It's like, do you know what? It's like, you know what? The longer you play a character, you become that person. Right, you know what I mean? Like, you can lose yourself in that. There are some actors, they play a role. So as an actor, they play the heroin addicts. They become heroin addicts. It's like they immerse themselves in the role. And sometimes if you play a character, no matter what that character is, because it's acting, do you know what I mean? Like, these guys don't do this in real life. I'm sure, like, I mean, they're not that swats in real life.
Yeah, it's true.
I think it's all of that. So if they know that, listen, this is what I learned. I learned this from drama school, right? Yeah? It doesn't matter if it's good or bad, as long as you get a reaction.
Yeah.
As long as you get a reaction from the audience, when you're doing your theatre play, as long as you get a reaction, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, as long as you've got an objective, as long as you've got a motive, as long as you've got a reaction.
I love a reaction.
I've been to his comedy gigs. It's funny, though.
That's just what it is. A reaction is the best feeling.
Yeah.
Guys, we're running out of time. I hope you've enjoyed this first part. Hopefully we can get loads of like and subscribes, and thanks to the Beast for coming down this evening.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
We're running out of time, unfortunately. The cameraman's waving at us. But if you've enjoyed this, then we can do part 2. Thank you, guys, and remember to like, subscribe, Xxxl. Thanks to our new sponsor, which is
Brixton Streetwear. But I've got in on this. We out.